What's good, YouTube? Akil here, back with another video, and today I'm switching things up a little bit and I'm going to be doing a thrift store haul video. Now, I haven't done one of these in probably almost a year at this point. When I first got on YouTube, I done a ton of these thrift store hauls, only because I wasn't doing a lot of like in-store camera footage and stuff like that. But in my previous trip to the thrift, I told you guys that was probably one of my best ones of 2021 so far, and I got a ton of stuff that day. Some stuff I was able to get on camera, but a lot of it I wasn't able to. So I'm going to share the rest of the things that I was able to pick up that Friday. As I'm gonna throw in a little clip so you guys can check it out, because that haul, like all the stuff that was spread out on the floor, was insane. And like I said before, I just want to share some of these brands with you guys. It's 99% electronics. I think I picked up one pair of shoes, and the other shoes I actually shared in that video with you guys as well. So definitely make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, y'all, so first up is this iPad 2, and it even came with a nice little case as well. It does have some cracks in the screen, so that's definitely going to affect the price somewhat, but it shouldn't affect it too much, only because these iPad 2s don't sell for that much money anymore anyway. But it's always dope coming across an iPad. If this was maybe like a newer version, maybe even the iPad 3, I probably would have just kept it for myself. But like I said, the iPad 2 for only $650 with that additional 20% off, this is a no-brainer. I definitely had to grab this one up. And the good thing is I was able to come up on another iPad 2, and this one was actually, the problem with this one, it was actually just locked out. Like it said, I wasn't able to, try to put in a new password for another like 26 days or something crazy like that. So I basically just did like a quick hard reset or something like that. I literally just plugged it up to the computer, held my finger on the home button, and once I was able to do that, it basically just reset everything, and I just followed the prompts using iTunes. And like I said, I was able to pick this up for 10 bucks. This one is in much better shape, no cracks or anything as compared to this one. And I think I'm just gonna put the comps up on the screen for a lot of these stuff, because I don't remember all of them off the top of my head. But a lot of these iPad 2 sell for right around like maybe 40 to as high as 60 bucks. This one I'll probably get a little closer to 50 or 60, whichever on the higher end, just because it's in such good condition. This one I'm still gonna have to test this one out. I didn't even mess with this one at all, but like I said, for $650 I had to grab it up. Next up, we got this Nintendo DS, and this one isn't in the best shape. I definitely need to use some glue gun to kind of get rid of some of the sticky stuff on here. I'm thinking somebody had some, maybe like a custom sticker or some type of vinyl on this, so it definitely is kind of sticky. But like I said, $750, you can't go wrong with a Nintendo DS. I'll throw the comps up on the screen here again. I've sold a few of these not too long ago. I even sold a Zelda version for $150, so I doubt this one will sell for that much. I know Nintendo DS usually sells for right around like 60 to 70 bucks. I have one in my inventory right now listed for like $80, only because it's in really good shape and it has the stylus and everything. This one is missing the stylus, and I'm pretty sure I have an extra charging cable for this one as well. Anytime I come across like random chargers, I usually always pick them up because they always come in handy later down the road. So this one should sell relatively quickly, as long as I'm able to clean this one up and make it look really good. Keeping things going with the Nintendo stuff, I got a copy of Luigi's Mansion for the Nintendo 3DS, and I paid $4.29 for this. They usually keep these types of stuff behind the case only because it's super small, and a lot of people like to steal from Goodwill. So this was a really nice piece. Next up, we got a Nintendo Wii, and I tell you guys all the time, I come across a ton of Nintendo Wiis, and I'm always grabbing them up. As long as I can get them for like 12 to 20 bucks, I always grab them up, especially if they have a controller and the AV cables. The only difference, the only downside is that most of the time, or maybe 80% of the time, when I do find a Nintendo Wii, it's always missing the sensor bar. So like I said, I picked this up on Friday. So what I ended up doing was ordering just some replacement sensor bars off of eBay, and I paid $5 a piece for these, and I ended up just grabbing two because I have like maybe 10 or 12 Nintendo Wii sitting in my inventory that's not complete. So what I'm going to do is just test these out, make sure that they're working really well, and if they are working well, I'm just going to go ahead and buy maybe 10 or 12, maybe like 15 of these, just so that I can always have them on deck, just to kind of complete a lot of the sets that I have. And Nintendo Wiis right now, for me, they're not selling as much as they used to. When the pandemic first started, I was selling Nintendo Wiis for as much as like $100, and then of course that stuff started to open back up, and like the world just kind of got back to normal. Now I'm selling them back to close to like 60 to like 70 bucks. So like I said, I have a ton of these. It's just sitting around my inventory right now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get these listed. Next up, we got a pair of New Balance 574s, and I paid $10 for these. And the thing with New Balance, especially that 574 model, I've sold some for as cheap as like 25 to 30 bucks to as high as $100. So based on the condition of these. I'll probably get somewhere maybe 50 to 60 bucks for these. I'm definitely gonna have to do some research, but like I said in the video, I'll put a picture of the comps up on the screen just so you guys can check that out. But hopefully these do bring in a decent amount of profit, only because these were in really good condition. Keeping things going with the shoes, we got a pair of Nike Shox, and I'm just gonna put the comps up based on style code for this. I'll put that up on the screen, and once again, really good condition. I always pick up Nike Shox anytime I find them, only because they're super popular. People love Nike Shox. Not so much the Shox Gravity, I don't usually pick those up, but the old school Nike Shox, like 2002, 2005, I always grab those up. And like I said, this one was in really good shape, so hopefully I'll get somewhere closer to 60 to 70 bucks for these. But like I said, I'll put the comps up on the screen. So this was an interesting pickup. Came up on 2 of these camcorders, and I only checked the comps for one of these. I believe I checked the comps for this one, and this model is HC-V550, and this one was selling for a ton of money. It didn't have a charger or anything like that to make it complete, but since this one was selling for so much money, I decided to just go ahead and grab this up, and I paid $12.50 for this one, which is a little more than I usually would spend for cameras that's not complete. But like I said, the comps made me want to check it out, and the thing is, I'm just gonna go ahead and order a battery charger for this just to complete it. That way the buyer, when the buyer gets it, you know, all they have to do is just, they won't have anything to do, they'll just go ahead and use it. So I like to add in like a memory card. I always try to include the charger for these as well, just so that I can maximize in terms of the profit. And both of these camcorders should be selling for a decent amount of profit. Put the comps up on the screen for this one. I'll probably put that one on this side, and then this one I'll put that up on this side right here. So check that out. Next up, we got this Connect for the Xbox One, and I paid $7.50 for this, and I love picking these up because they usually always sell for right around like 50 to 55 bucks. I sold a couple for like 60, but I usually get 50 bucks for these anytime I put them up, and these usually sell pretty quickly as well. Just about 2 weeks, so there's a turnaround time for these. And like I said, $7.50 for this is a no-brainer. This one is in really good condition as well, so I'll probably try to list this for 55 bucks and just wait for the right buyer to come along. Next, we got this vintage camera lens, and I only paid $2.50 for this one as well, and this one probably isn't going to sell for that much money. I think I checked the comps while I was in the store, and this one was selling for right around 30 to 35 bucks. This one is the Minolta. This is actually the Minolta Celtic lens, so not a ton of these were listed, not a ton of comps either, but at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure this one should sell for right around 30 to 35 bucks. I only picked this up because, like I said, it was only $2.50. They usually charge a little more for vintage lenses, but this one even came with a nice little carrying case as well, so that might add a little bit of profit to it, but we'll see. These vintage lenses usually take a little longer to sell. They're not like an overnight sale or like a 2-week type of thing, but I still grab it up only because, like I said, $2.50, can't go wrong with that. Alright y'all, so now things are starting to heat up. I picked up this PlayStation 4 virtual reality headset stuff. Like, I'm not too sure what this was, but the guy at the register was super hyped when I picked it up. He was telling me all about it, but like I said, I'm not a gamer or anything like that. All I know is how much stuff sells for on eBay, and I was seeing that this was selling for like $150 to as high as $200 bucks, and it seems to have everything within the bag. The guy at the register said everything was here, and he was just super hyped about it. So like I said, hopefully everything in here works perfectly, and I should be able to get at least maybe $200, maybe $250. I think I have a PS4 sitting in my inventory that I did not list yet, so I'm definitely gonna have to put that to use and make sure I test this with it. But like I said, I got PS4s, Xbox Ones. Actually, speaking of Xbox One, I actually picked up this red Xbox One controller, and the thing is, I've seen a couple others in the store as well, but I had to pass on those only because they didn't look like they were in the best condition. But these actually did have the rubber pieces still on the sticks, and it had a replacement back piece for the battery, but it is what it is. I should still be able to get maybe 40 bucks for this Xbox One controller, maybe a little more, but like I said, I'll put the comps up on the screen. But the thing is, when you just sell this separately, of course you could get a decent amount of profit. But the best part of the whole thrift store haul video is the fact that I was able to come up on an Xbox One for only $12.50. Now this was crazy, because usually the last time I picked up an Xbox One, I think they priced it for like 70 bucks, and now this time they priced it for $12.50. Maybe they priced it wrong. Maybe they didn't know what it was. Maybe they just thought it was like a DirecTV cable box or something. But they priced it super cheap. And like I said, I didn't find this in the same Goodwill. I found the Xbox One controller and a different one, and this one in a completely different Goodwill. I try to hit up at least 5 to 6 different Goodwills sometimes when I'm really in a good groove. But on a daily basis, I usually hit up maybe 1 to 3 spots. But when I'm really like cooking and I'm really feeling good about it, I'll hit up 5 or 6 different Goodwills all in one day. And there's maybe like 10 within maybe a 10-mile radius of me. So I don't drive a ton to get to all of them, but I always try to hit up as many spots as possible, only because they stock the shelves periodically throughout the day. So people always ask me what's the best time to go, how often do I go. I like to go every single day just because, you know, I'm always coming up on something different. But in terms of the time, I realize that it really doesn't matter. As long as you're just consistently going, you're showing up, you come up on some of the best stuff. Because there's been days when I'm getting there as soon as they open up and they didn't even restock the shelves yet, and then there's days when I get there right before they're about to close and I come up on something crazy. So like I said, if you guys are really into thrifting and you guys are trying to still figure it out, definitely just go on a consistent basis and you'd learn more as you go. Alright y'all, that's all I have for today's video. So if you guys enjoyed that one, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And also let me know what you think of this thrift store haul. I haven't done a haul video in maybe over a year, and I used to do these all the time and they perform pretty well on the channel, but ever since I started doing more trip to the thrifts and in-store footage, I kind of stopped doing these. So drop a comment, let me know if you guys want me to kind of switch it up a little bit and do some trip to the thrifts or thrift store hauls or whatever it is. Just drop a comment, let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
For the winner, cause you felt like you was losing, only for the winner. Move just to keep from cooling, like only for the winner, only for the winner, only for the winner. Boy, my heart is cold, and I'm too cool to sweat it. I should've never offered it. I'm tight and now I'm off this shit.